Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your staff meetings more engaging. By the end of this video, you'll learn 6 new ways to make your next staff meeting more engaging. You'll understand how to get your staff to make decisions faster and to make those decisions stick in your team meetings. You'll gain insight on the #1 way to get your staff to feel closer to each other. And at the end, I'm going to share a story about 2 staffs that were actually fighting with each other and how we were able to get them to have a productive and engaging meeting. The first tip is keep it short. Keep it short and simple, ideally, with your staff meetings. Many in the hotel and the restaurant industry have stand-up meetings where they have to be short. By the time somebody wants to sit down, the meeting should be over. They share the top priority of their day. They make sure that everybody knows what it is, and that's the end of the meeting. So that's one way to keep it engaging. Keep it short. The next tip to make your next staff meeting more engaging is to facilitate. If you don't know the basis of the word, the meaning of the word facilitate is to make easier. Choose somebody in your group who can help you make this meeting easier. This is a person who can facilitate. They can make sure the meeting is going along, that you're hitting all the points, and that you end on time. So look and see how you can facilitate or make your next staff meeting even easier. Here's your next tip on how to make your next staff meeting more engaging. Start on time and end on time. Even if nobody's there, quite often what we've done is start the meeting, right, and make sure it ends on time. Do anything that you can to start your meeting on time and to end your meeting on time. One of the killer phrases that showed up in the last 4 years is, "Let's just wait a few more minutes for the other team members to show up." It shows immediate disrespect for all the people who showed up on time, right, and allowed an out for, and it's actually showing everybody that they can show up late for the next meeting. So again, that's why I start on time even if nobody's there. One of the techniques we used in a previous company was to start assigning work at the beginning of the meeting and assigning it, of course, to the people who aren't there. Everybody quickly learned to show up on time so they wouldn't get unnecessary work assigned to them. So start on time and end on time. The only way that you can not end on time is to gain permission of everybody there and say, "Can you stay for an extra few minutes?" But ideally, I would do anything to end that team meeting on time. Hey, do me a favor. If you're getting some value out of this video, make sure and hit the comment down below and tell me which one that you're going to follow through on and make your staff meeting more engaging. My next tip to make your next staff meeting more engaging is to give everybody a turn, especially if you're discussing an important topic or making a decision that affects everybody. What we do is give everybody in the group the opportunity to contribute or say something about the decision before we make the decision. We also had a rule called pass, which is that at any time you could just say pass. Nobody would question you why you said pass, but it just says that I don't have anything to contribute to this topic, or I choose not to say anything else about this topic. By going around and making sure everyone has a turn before a decision is made, we made sure that everyone felt included, and that's why people were more bought into the decision and didn't unmake the decision later on. This next tip is pretty uncommon. You probably know of a thumbs up vote. You probably know a thumbs down vote. But have you ever heard of a thumbs middle vote? That's the tip I have for you, which is thumbs middle. So when your staff goes to decide on an issue, then when they go for a vote, you of course can say thumbs up, I agree. Thumbs down, I don't agree. And by the way, you should take time then to modify the decision until you get people bought in. And then the thumbs middle vote says, well, I don't exactly agree 100%, but I'm willing to go along with the decision for the benefit of the team. What this allows too is that when people will buy into the decision, and they're less likely to sabotage or unmake the decision again later, as they said, well, I'm bought in enough for the team. So again, that's thumbs up, thumbs down, and thumbs middle. There are lots of ways we've been able to get a group to consensus to at least follow a decision and make sure that that decision could stick and they felt like their voice was heard. And this last tip is so valuable, and the tip is resolve conflict. Now, it doesn't say not have conflict. In fact, you'll find that the top staff and the top teams have conflict at one stage or another. In fact, if you look at the stages for team building, you'll see that storming is one of the key steps in a team. What I like to tell people is that if your team has never fought, they're never going to be a high-performing team. They're still only just being nice to each other. So one of the ways is to have conflict, but then resolve conflict as quickly as possible. Let me share a story about putting these all together and how resolving conflict really helped this staff. This staff had two companies. There was a Taiwanese company with a CEO on all their executives, and they bought a US company with their CEO and all their executives. Over the pandemic, they stopped seeing each other in person and were only meeting virtually. What happened was that their relationships broke down to the point that they were fighting with each other. So they had conflict, but they had no way to resolve this conflict. Here's the funny part. They called me in and asked me to run a fun team building event for them for 3 hours. By asking all these questions, I determined that the worst thing that I could do for them was to run a 3-hour fun team building event. But instead, I asked to do something else and that they agreed. And so I created a staff meeting, even though half of the group was in Taiwan and half was in the US. What we were able to do was to see, could we resolve this conflict? Again, using a tool to connect everyone together. The tool sounds easy, but it had a big impact. And that was to have all these leaders share a challenging childhood story. By doing that, we were able to create connections with each other and enough psychological safety that the two teams then suddenly started to realize what was really happening to them. The good news is by the end of the meeting, the Taiwanese CEO came back and said, I now suddenly realize how damaged our relationships are. And luckily, he had a visit scheduled in 2 weeks. And he said, I will do everything in my power now to try and repair that relationship with this company. So this is a way where resolving conflict helped the staff meetings become more and more engaging and effective once they're able to get this conflict out of this way. I heard the conclusion of this story is that I heard the CEO visited the US company, was actually able to repair a lot of the relationships, and now the two companies are performing at high levels again. This is what you can do inside of your staff meetings. If this video has been helpful and you want to take it further, well then I've got a free gift for you. Normally I have a masterclass that people pay $100 or more for, but in this case, I'm going to give it to you for free. When you complete the 6 steps to more engaging in-person meetings masterclass, you'll find out that you'll have better staff meetings, you'll be able to resolve conflict, and you'll be able to get more work done with your team. Make sure and click the link below in the description on how to get that video, and I'll see you there.